Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is Masters of the Universe Classics Castle Grayskull in 4 minutes or less. Masters of the Universe Classics Castle Grayskull is the 4th greatest Masters of the Universe product produced between 1982 and today, just ahead of the Dolph Lundgren movie, but right behind the 1985 Macy's Thanksgiving Day float, the Battle Cat Spring Ride-On toy, and this AM/FM radio that we record the audio for the show on. At 24.5 inches tall, it towers over the vintage castle by 6.5 inches. Built with the same basic structure of 2 hollow panels connected by a hinge, overall it is 50% larger in terms of square inches. It features many of the same features and details of the original with some welcome updates. The sculpt and paint applications are improved and far more detailed, but it's really just like an HD TV compared to an old tube television. Details have been sharpened, clarified, and in some cases more pronounced. The wooden floor panels have nails in them now. The stone and beam construction of the exterior is more varied, and the teeth in the jawbridge are more jagged than ever. He even has a little hat on top of his crown now. The combat trainer, laser, and the ladder are still here, but have updated sculpts and paint detailing. It still comes with a bunch of extra weapons, even though the weapons rack was sold separately, and an unexpected pair of actual metal shackles to go in the now walled-off dungeon. All of the cardboard inserts are now sculpted 3-dimensional objects, which if you've owned a vintage castle for any length of time, you got used to seeing these things as abstract cardboard pieces of art, too simply designed to be made into physical objects, and yet, here they are. They are real now. The throne still activates the trapdoor under the rug, and the jail cell still has a sticker on the ground, which makes me wonder if it was ever supposed to be real creatures trapped in a pit, or if it's just a decoration on the floor for intimidation purposes. Castle Grayskull puts the art in incarceration. The inside really isn't that interesting, but to be honest, it never was. It's all about the outer facade. No other playset is so iconic as to be interwoven into the core mythology of the line. No other playset has actually inspired the creation of a character bearing its name and resemblance. There is no Sergeant USS Flag or Agent Ghostbusters Firehouse, but there is a Castle Grayskull Man. While G.I. Joe had a bigger playset, this is the biggest playset ever produced for adult collectors. The intent was never to get this thing to big box retail store shelves. Masters of the Universe sold millions of units back in the day, and a tiny fraction of those customers are still interested in purchasing anything related to the franchise. Mattel recognized those fans and made this modern monster of a playset for such a tiny handful of people. It's easy to nitpick instead of recognizing the ridiculousness of the fact that this thing exists for like 400 total people. There's probably someone at Mattel who at one point recognized the names of every customer who purchased one. If you're not a Masters of the Universe fan, or you don't have the space for this beast, then this castle is an easy pass. But if you've always dreamed about what that scary looking but actually totally friendly castle would look like if it were released today, if you're crossing your fingers for a new He-Man movie that's at least as good as the first Transformers movie, then this is a must-have, so buy it if you see it, and if you see 2, leave 1 for the next collector. Are we right on the line here? Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's the only way we can grow the channel. We tried showing it to people on the city bus, and that only has a success rate of 8%. Let us know in the comments below why original Castle Grayskull was green. Is it moss? Should the castle have been flocked? I googled it, and the best result was from Yahoo Answers, and the top answer doesn't even address the greenness, so it falls to you and your best fan theories. My guess? There's a guy somewhere in Eternia named Paintor who hired a guy named Contractor who cuts corners and uses cheap materials just like all the rest. That should have been got hired by. Contractor hired Paintor, not the other way around.
Yep, cut.